Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Ringside Recap. I am your host, Nathan the Ninja, and let's get started with a brand new episode of Friday Night SmackDown. So y'all, we are here with a brand new episode of Friday Night SmackDown, and I have a feeling this one might be a good one because I know tonight Cody and Randy is going to be together, and Randy is going to finally reveal who he's been talking to for the past 2-3 weeks. Some people saying it could be his father, Bob Orton, or could be Ric Flair, or could be Batista. I don't know. I'm hoping it is a probably evolution type vibe. I really don't know. But people pointing more to his dad. So maybe it could be his father. And then we have, I'm pretty sure Jade is going to come out tonight. Her and going to probably say something about Rhea. And try to sound intimidating. And I want to know what y'all thoughts about Jade and Meechin and BFAB, because a lot of people online hate this. They hate this group because the story writing does not make any sense, that they all hated each other and now they're all cool. So I want to hear y'all thoughts about it. I was the same way last week. I was like, it doesn't make any sense that y'all were just beefing, hating each other's guts, and now y'all are suddenly friends again. But I don't know about this week. Like I said, I really hope it's a good week. I don't think I liked last week that much. I can't remember what my rating for last week, but hopefully this week will be a little bit better, and we have, like I said, some insights on what's going on with Randy, and hopefully it will conclude this story between him and Cody, and him hopefully winning his 15th championship. Because we are literally less than a couple days away from WrestleMania, and I know it's going to be a great match. People really look forward for this match as well. So I hope it's going to be good, and I hope it's not going to waste anyone's time and play us like they normally do. But after all that, let's get started with the show. Alright, y'all, the show opens up with Randy Orton coming out to the ring, and he is just basically saying how St. Louis, which is the show is at right now, St. Louis always been his home. You know, he's proud to be here. He grew up here. You know, just, you know, giving St. Louis the love and stuff since he, you know, grew up and made him the man that he was today. And then he proceeds to go on saying this spiel about what we already saw Monday about Cody having the confrontation with Stephanie McMahon, and how Stephanie said that this Randy that you're dealing with is not the same Randy. And, you know, Cody Rhodes ended up telling Stephanie, you know, yeah, I know, I understand, blah, blah, blah. Basically, Stephanie giving Cody tough love, basically. So, Randy was just in, you know, agreement with Stephanie. Like, Stephanie is right. I am not the same man, you know. I'm a different man. You know, I got my own family, and I'm here to provide for my family and get number 15. That's what he said. And then Cody comes out in another suit. How many suits did this man have? Why he wear a suit every single week? So Cody goes out. He marches up to the ring. Him and Randy get a little scuffle. Just scuffling. And then out of nowhere, we get Pat McAfee helping Randy beat up Cody. And then Pat McAfee just goes on this rant of saying how bad some of the St. Louis teams are, and how Randy's gonna beat Cody. Pat McAfee just went on this random rant, and it didn't make sense. But anyway, So he does that, and that was it. Just kind of beat up Cody, and then they both walked off out the ring into the back. Now, my only issue with this is that they sit here and hype up all this mess, saying that the person you're gonna call will be someone, you know, big, spectacular, someone that, you know. They set all this up to have Pat McAfee. This was a waste of our time. Why would you hype it this much? I would rather have seen anyone else but then Pat McAfee. Another time that this do not make any logical sense. What do Pat McAfee gotta do with anything in this situation? This is another WWE thing to make people mad because what the Pat McAfee got anything to do what's going on right now? It doesn't even make sense. Let's be gonna see how this plays out. I don't know. So y'all, the first match of the night we had Rhea Ripley versus Michin, and this match it was an okay match. I won't lie, it was an okay match. Of course, this was all Rhea dominated match. Of course, because it's Rhea. She's not gonna lose to just nobody. But you know, Michin did not come alone. She had B-Fab. And then later on, Jay came out looking like Big Bird. She had this whole yellow, fluffy thing going on. I guess she's something from Trick Williams' playbook over there. She had the whole yellow thing, Big Bird. And they all tried to get involved. And then EO came out, tried to help Rhea. And Rhea ended up picking up the victory. So it was an okay match. I really honestly did not care for it. Cause like I said, it's just gonna be a mostly Rhea dominated match. So that was it for that. And then we end up having a quick little segment between Aleister Black and Matt Cardona. And honestly, is this Aleister Black doing his poem riddle and then trying to antagonize the other person? And Matt Cardona was like, you know what, let's have a match tonight. So later on I'm going to tell y'all how that match went on between them two. So then we have another quick little segment with Solo Sikoa and the rest of MFT, and basically he was just going on how, you know, how they lost the championships, and you know, he needs somebody to fight for the honor tonight for a match against Uncle Howie and them later on. And then Tama Tonga basically was like, why have we been fighting for this lantern? Since we had this lantern, everything just been in mess and causing us trouble. And Solo was not here for it. So he was like, since you wanted to see something, how about you defend the honor and you better not lose for us tonight. So I guess Tama gonna have a match later on against Uncle Howie's group. That was pretty much it for that. I kind of want to also go back on Randy and Pat McAfee. They were saying how that Randy's basically going to be like the savior of this time of this generation, because since under Cody's championship run, you know, the views have been terrible and everything under the sun. And I just kind of want to point that out. I forgot to say that earlier, but I don't know. I didn't even realize that they was saying that the views was so low for in this entire history. But yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it because they did this stuff so freaking early, hyping up WrestleMania. I said this weeks ago, and I was like, ain't they normally like a pay-per-view already in March? Now, it's not gonna be a big pay-per-view, but I'm like, why are they doing WrestleMania hyping so early? It just gonna make everyone tired after a while. But yeah, I don't know what they want to do about it. So y'all, the next match of the night was Tama Tonga versus Uncle Howie, and this match was okay. Another little 1, 2, 3 match. Um, End up going to Uncle Howie due to the fact that Solo Sokoa was trying to ambush Uncle Howie with the lantern, but Tama Tonga ended up stopping Solo, and that ended up causing him the win. And Tama and Solo got into it, and Solo was like, give them the lantern back. So they basically have a tug of war match with Solo, end up winning the match with Solo, and giving the lantern back to Uncle Howie and them. So I don't know what this means for that group. I wonder if Tama is gonna like somehow break out of this group and maybe possibly team up with Roman WrestleMania. I don't know, because Roman is having this family thing with CM Punk, so I don't know. That's just my suggestion. So then we get another quick little segment with The Miz, Kit Wilson, and them two are just talking about the curse that Danhausen gave them a couple weeks ago. And then the camera ends up seeing R-Truth, and R-Truth like, I want a hot tub with hot water. That's the point of a hot tub. The water's gonna already be hot and bubbly. So, somehow, Truth and Miz and Kit somehow got in this conversation, and R-Truth was like, you know what? It sounds like you're trying to challenge us, talk about him and Damien, for our tag team championships. So tonight I'm gonna get with Nick Aldis, and it's gonna be a tag team match tonight. And the Miz and Kit Wilson are just so confused. Like, we got ourselves a tag team match. So later on today it's gonna be a tag team match between all of them. Probably for the championships. But you know how that's gonna go. So y'all, the next segment of the night we had Sami Zayn and GM Nick Aldis, and basically Nick Aldis is just like congratulating Sami on his win, and he will finally get Pyro for winning the championship last week against Carmelo, and just hyping him up, just saying congratulations to him and whatever. And eventually, a couple seconds later, you hear Trick Williams' music playing, and Trick Williams did not come alone. He came with the rapper Lil Yachty, and once again, he has his white mink coat with his white lemon pepper steppers, and I'm going to go ahead and say it again. Please pick a different color. White, I mean, don't get me wrong, white looks good on him, but like, please change your color. It's trying to pick a different color. You've been wearing white for almost as long as I've seen you on TV, Trick Williams. So that's all that. So basically, Trick stole Sammy's pyro, and him and Lil Yachty are just going on and saying, how he's going to his first WrestleMania and he's happy and excited, and invites Lil Yachty to WrestleMania. We're going to have Jelly Roll and everybody else there at WrestleMania. So that's going on, and Trick is just going on telling about Sammy, and if he didn't do what he did, Sammy would never been a champion. And the whole time he's going on, he's giving insults to Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn is a redhead, and he's been calling him Ginger Ale, Ginger Snap, Gingerbread Man, all types of gingers. And then Sammy comes out being hot and mad because what Trick Williams was saying, and how, yeah, because of you, I am the champion, and I probably would still be the champion even if you didn't get involved in the match last week. So then he goes on chewing out Trick, and then trying to chew out Lil Yachty, and then Carmelo Hayes come out and basically it's the same thing that Trick and Sammy said. If it wasn't for Trick getting involved, he will still be a champion, and he will be still going to WrestleMania. And basically, between all of them, Carmelo and Sammy decides, you know what? Tonight we are having a match for the U.S. Championship. If Carmelo wins, he's going to WrestleMania to go fight Trick. So that match is coming on later on tonight. And then we get another little segment with Solo and MFT, basically them having this rebuttal over the lantern. And once again, Tamatanga is telling them, this lantern is causing us trouble. We need to go back to our original plan of taking all of the championships and controlling all of SmackDown. And Solo's like, you know what? You're right. You're right. And then Solo kind of looks like past his shoulder to give that look to Tama Tonga. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna outcast Tama Tonga out this group eventually. So I don't know how I feel about that. But what do y'all feel? What do y'all feel about what's going on between MFT? Like, do you think that they need to go ahead and just kind of disband? That's how I feel a little bit. I feel like they need to disband. But I feel like if they do, they're all not going to be successful as well. They're being in a group than them being singles. Maybe a few, but not all of them. Definitely not all of them. I can see Solo being a great singer competitor. He's already unliked, but some people do like him. I think he's entertaining. I think he's an entertaining person. But I don't know. I want to hear y'all's opinions on that though. So y'all, the next match of the night, it was Aleister Black versus Matt Cardona, and this match was a good match. It was probably one of the best matches of the night so far. Great back and forth between both men, and it was Aleister Black getting the win, and it was a clean win. There was no distractions, nothing. Zelina didn't really get involved. It was a pretty good match. Definitely, probably best match of the night so far. And I will want to make a point of how one of the men at the announce table had said that Aleister Black had fed Randy Orton this new version of him, which I find that crazy. I don't think that was truly Aleister's doing, but he did play a hand in it. But I don't know. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think that Aleister was the main one who helped Randy finally lock into those voices he had in his head? Or do you think it was just going to happen either way without Aleister's input? I don't know. So y'all, the next segment of the night, we had Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano. Basically, them two just advertising for NXT at Stand and Deliver. That was it. It really much wasn't going on during that. Truth got involved between Candice and Johnny, and then Damian Priest ended up going to Truth, and it was like, you gave a undeserving team a shot at our championships. And Truth, being comedic gold, he was like, don't worry about it, the curse is gonna make sure we keep our championships. And he was like, the curse? He's like, yeah, the curse that Asuka put on Kit and Miz. And Damian's like, Asuka's on Monday Night Raw. And Truth was like, who's the little girl running around in the makeup? And David is like, you talking about Danhausen? Truth like, no, that's Asuka. So for some reason, Truth has Asuka confused with Danhausen. Don't know how. I mean, I know how because of the makeup, but there's no similar resemblance of them two wearing makeup. And they're gonna have to keep Truth. They're gonna keep Truth until he honestly can't even move anymore. He's gonna be just as old and still be funny. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do with him. But anyway, so y'all, the next match of the night, we had Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss versus Lyra, Valkyria, and Bailey. And this match was a good match. It was a really good match. It honestly might top Alistair's and Matt Cardona's match. The women put it on again for SmackDown. Really good match, clean match. It ended up being Bailey and Lyra picking up the victory against Charlotte, and Alexa was not on my bingo card. I was thinking that Alexa and Charlotte was gonna win this match. But of course, at the end of the match, Lash Legend and Nia Jax had to make themselves known and beat up every other woman in the ring. But the Bella Twins did not come this Friday due to the fact that Nikki did have a little injury of her ankle from the other last Monday or last 2 weeks ago. That Monday that she was there. Or no, it was Monday. Friday. One of those days. That she was there and got an injury. And yeah, that was it for that. So then we get another quick little segment with Kit Wilson and The Miz. And of course, y'all's favorite person, Danhausen, was there. And he had his jar of teeth. And he was like, I'm going to come to the ring during y'all match today. And I can possibly uncurse you or get you double cursed. So Trick and The Miz are like, yeah, the possibility we can get uncursed. And Miz is like, I don't believe in no stupid curse. And Danhausen just disappeared. So guys, the next match of the night, we had R-Truth, Damian Priest versus Kit Wilson and The Miz. And this match was a good match. It was for the men's tag team championships. And R-Truth and Damian ended up picking up the win due to the shenanigans of Danhausen. And I ain't gonna lie, this was actually pretty funny. So as The Miz hit R-Truth with the skull crushing finale, as the ref would get ready to count 1, 2, 3, the ref between his arm was hurting and he couldn't continue to count, and then that ended up costing Miz and Kit the win because they did a whole switcheroo and Damian and Truth got the win. So that was that match. And then Cody Rhodes has come back out of nowhere and starts going off on Pat McAfee, saying that he was the man that Randy called and how Randy called you to be this third man or second man type thing. They should have done this way earlier in the show. I don't know why they wait to the end of the show to do this. Or he should have done it right after the fact he got jumped by them too. But anyway, he was like, I'm gonna give you your receipt, Pat McAfee, when I get my hands on you. So guess we're gonna have that whenever that goes on. So y'all, we are in the last match of the night. We have Sami Zayn versus Carmelo Hayes for the men's United States Championship. Now this match again was an okay match. Good match between both of them. Clean match. Trick Williams and Little Yachty was sitting at ringside, but he didn't get involved. It was a good back and forth match between Sami and Carmelo, which ending up making Sami becoming the winner and retaining the championship. So it will be Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn for the men's United States Championship. And I'm pretty sure Little Yachty is going to be in the corner of Trick Williams because it's really random of him to just be teamed up with him all of a sudden. So yeah, then at the end of the match, Trick Williams ended up jumping Sami Zayn, and that turned out to be the end of the show for Friday Night SmackDown. And all in all, I will give this show, I'll give it a good, I get a good 5 out of 10. They could have done better with the matches. It's kind of repeating the same matches over and over again that's the feel I get from it. I'm not sure about everybody else. I think the best match of the night was Alistair's match with Matt Cardona, and the second one was definitely the women's tag teams. Other than that, well, other than R-Truth and Damien, that was a funny match. But other than that, that's all I can say. I hope they do better with the matches next week. I know that we are 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, so after these next 2 weeks, hopefully we get some better mashups, different storylines. There's something different. I think people are getting tired of the same 15 people in rotation. I think they would have to add some new people. They're gonna have to definitely add some NXT people in this next season of WWE after WrestleMania. I think it's time for them to add new people. And after all that, this is the end of the show. I want to say thank you for listening and watching, and I hope you continue to listen and watch and support. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, leave some comments if you want to, share it to your friends if you want to. And I want to give a big shout out to subscriber number 5. Thank you for subscribing. I'm always grateful. I'm really appreciative of everybody who likes, subscribes, even just to look and glance at it for a little bit. Any view is good view, no matter if it's good or bad. So thank you, I appreciate it. And I'm gonna go ahead and apologize if I feel like my vibe is a little bit down today. I had a crazy day today, but anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we will be back next week with Monday Night Raw. And be blessed, love one another, and mental health matters. Bye.